Welcome to Marketing Matters with WEO Media. As a full-service marketing agency, we have been in this field, specifically dentistry, for over 10 years. Usually, as a full-service agency, we're doing a lot of things to help a practice grow as we specialize in practice growth. And that might mean beyond the website, pay-per-click, or certainly SEO, and a number of other things to help that practice grow and accelerate their growth. As good as we are here at WEO Media, when it comes to practice growth, we recognize there are companies and strategies beyond what we can do to really make an impact on a practice ability to grow and to accelerate that growth. And I know that many years ago, I remember when we began dabbling in membership plans. They were great getting them off the ground, but then managing them, especially the next year when the credit card would expire and need updating, became extremely difficult for the office to manage and to maintain. That's why we have, for our listeners, my favorite membership plan platform, which is Dental HQ. And Eric, we've been talking for, 5 years. You've been with them, and I've watched how you've just continued to grow as a company. You are now the most endorsed platform in dentistry.
Yes.
I love the platform. I love the software, the tools that you've created to help a practice truly grow and make a difference in this very complicated world. And so here you go. Eric, this is your introduction to all of our listeners. And I would love for you to share a little history on where you've been as a company.
Sure. Yeah, and we've known each other at least 5 years, maybe even six.
At least, yeah.
We started development about 8 years ago. We're a very dental-driven company, and our founder is a practice owner, 6 locations now. Dr. Brett Wells really wanted to create the platform as a way to automate and really simplify his own plans. So about 6 years ago, we actually launched, 7 years ago, it was 2017. So we actually launched the platform and have grown a lot since then, in whether it's been innovations and development, upgrading the platform, but we are the most endorsed membership plan platform on the market. And, that's kind of the humble brag of it, because really where we got there and how we got there are by listening to our partners and listening to our customers. Brett is a extremely innovative guy as a dental practice owner and as a dentist. He knows what he wants in his practice and systems and processes, and that's why we built out Dental HQ really for the automation. But along the road, we've partnered up with some great state associations, groups like WEO, and really listened to the feedback and developed new widgets, new upgrades, new connections based on what the customer wants. So very easy to implement, and scalability is the name of the game.
Thank you, Eric. I'm so glad you're here. We have a lot to talk about. I want to share with our listeners just how important I've come to realize is a membership program, especially in a day when, insurance has never been a major player in dentistry. I mean, seriously. And many practices would prefer to just not have to deal with insurance at all, and are moving in that direction because of how limiting that can be, even in the mentality, the patient's mind and mentality of dentistry as a whole. But when a practice gets that call from a patient, I've changed insurance, or I've lost my insurance, and so I can't come in as regularly as I want to, or take me off your recall because that's a little late. It's a little late then to be suggesting, but we can do a membership program, or ideally they have something already in place, right, Eric?
Ideally, and a lot of practice owners have implemented a membership plan. It's not like we came up with the concept. but
Right.
actually very easily creating them and automating the entire thing. That's where we come in.
Yeah.
Everybody should have a membership plan. I sometimes equate it to how back in the mid 90s, certain companies had websites, certain didn't. They didn't necessarily feel they needed to right then and there. Now it's cost of doing business, right? Everybody has a website and sees the
Right.
value in it. And that's really where really the kind of consumer sentiment and really that patient, they're now looking for membership plans because a lot of times either they're not offered a dental benefit or like in the case of retirees, uh, 2 out of 3 retirees do not have a dental benefit of any kind. They're fee for service patients. And so this is a way to really easily attract them, show them it's affordable, and get them attached to your practice. Much more of a loyalty type member. They're great patients that join these plans because they're investing in their own oral health care. So it's a little bit different mindset patient than really your typical just uninsured or cash paying patient that might just come in when they have an emergency or might come in every few years or 2 years for a cleaning. Even that's pretty common. That's pretty typical if you don't have an insurance benefit. So this is a way to see your patients a bit more often, create that direct relationship with them. Members are 2.5 times more likely to get additional procedures and treatments. The case acceptance goes way up, retention goes up on these types of patients. And like I said, overall, they are just really, really great patients. So,
You see, that sounds like patient growth to me. Patients grow, practice grow. You're giving more access to patients, greater care. That's essential with any growth strategy. And our mentality has changed. Even just in the last 10 years, people have found a little more comfort in membership things, haven't they?
Mhm.
I mean,
Absolutely.
thinking Costco, right?
100%.
In value
Yeah. I
based.
mean, subscription based lifestyle, right? It's think about
Mm-hmm.
what you're a part of. We're Costco. We have Amazon Prime. Things like Fabletics. That's even a subscription for workout clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that. I mean, there's golf
Yeah.
club subscription levels. There's a
Which
subscription
you'd
for
know.
almost everything. So, of course, it started with more concierge medicine, right? That's what most people can pinpoint
Sure.
and think back to. But it's come all the way from just GPs all the way through dental into vision, veterinary care. I mean, all across the board there, and it's something that makes sense to people. It's transparency of pricing. It's transparency of included services or discounts. You can set them up all kinds of different ways, but the idea is making that loyalty package for somebody that's really looking for it. These are not people you're having to convince, not big sales pitch or anything like that. It is put a plan in front of people. You're going to have patients purchase them. So, companies like ours will help actually create the plans and help you price them out and really teach you how all of this works and make it very, very easy to implement. And that's where we get a lot of our endorsements, just going back to the Dental HQ company side of things. And our partnerships are typically because they see the need for it. And a lot of practice owners, I'm sure everybody listening can think of one, possibly two PPOs they'd probably rather drop. So we do get a
Right.
lot of phone calls about that as well. There can be a time and place for insurance. We're not really suggesting you drop all insurances or anything, but I do feel like at least in dental, the dream is to be fee for service, right? It's to be completely out of network and dictate your own reimbursements and have the little bit more control than you have now.
I think that's the dream of many practices because of the limitations of insurance, which just continues to be less than more. When you see customers join you, do you find that that's a common thread, that they want to become more competitive and less reliant on insurance?
Definitely. It's a bit of a split. We do get a lot of interest from practices who are trying to go out of network completely. They actually have a goal to do that. Or, like, I said, maybe it's
Mm-hmm.
just dropping one particular PPO that you almost can't keep your doors open because the reimbursement rate has been stagnant, or even in some cases, plenty of offices this past year got letters in the mail that their reimbursement was declining 20, 25%. So that write-off is increasing. You can't take $45 for a cleaning anymore. The hygienist costs for that. It's a big part of it. A lot of people are seeing membership plans as a way to keep and retain patients as they go out of network with different PPOs. And then, like I said, it's not that we created membership plans, but we do get plenty of interest from offices that maybe they introduced a membership plan, but it just didn't take off like they thought, or especially with practice changes, staffing changes. Sometimes things can get lost as you have new office managers or just new team members come in. So a lot reach out to us with help to scale the plan and just keep it organized as well. Excel spreadsheet is not ideal to keep track of your plan and your members. So
that's the beautiful thing about your platform, is that it isn't just maintaining what they may have created. It's like a membership plan on steroids. I mean, the platform itself, it just has so many cool bells and whistles that are more than just conveniences. They're just essential for managing the plan. The renewals are automatic. You handle all of that if the credit card changes. I remember when you added the feature that allows a dentist to reach out to businesses, local businesses, and provide them with something that may appear as an additional benefit, right?
Correct. Yeah, they can actually, a small business or just any business could actually adopt a local dentist membership plan and really adopt it and say, hey, this is our new dental benefit, employee dental benefit, right? So they could chip in and subsidize any amount they want. We pioneered that about 4.5 years ago, and quickly spun up what we call Community Connect. So again, that's still outreach. It's just, think about like a retirement community, country clubs, any group with hundreds and hundreds of people in it, and predominantly seniors, retirees, are the largest group or segment of the market joining these plans, right? So apartment complexes work great. The WeWork type, co-working spaces, all of that. It's something that it's really pretty simple to do a little bit of outreach and increase patient care in your community through our platform. A couple other things that I'm not sure that you're aware of, but some of it's peace of mind. We started giving the option to have guaranteed plan payments. So sometimes practices will say, well, that's great that I can now offer like an adult plan, a perio plan, a whitening plan, a child plan, really whatever they want to spin up, we can't. The platform is flexible enough to do that. What about monthly payers? What if they pay me for a couple months, get some treatment, and then go their way and we can't collect from them? We prevent that from happening. That's something that we're proud of. Not only is it a great patient, so there's not too much to worry about there, but we have them on 12-month contracts, and it's something that we really help the practice manage that entire workflow. Guaranteed plan payments, just as it sounds, guarantees that the office gets paid on their monthly membership plan. So even if a patient did default, Dental HQ would pay out, months 6 through 12 of that contract, or month 8 through 12 of that contract, depending on when the patient defaults.
Oh, that's excellent. That's excellent. That sounds like marketing, which is why we have such a great relationship. It is very much a marketing strategy that I think is an essential tool for practice. Tell us about how this impacts overall case acceptance today, and the way the economy is putting so much pressure on that.
Yeah, and I think that's where it starts. So a couple, not to just throw a bunch of numbers out there, stats, but we are seeing an increasingly aging population. 2030, there's going to be kind of a turning point where 1 in 5 Americans are over the age of 65. And it's still a large number, but what it's equating to is about 10,000 baby boomers every single day are retiring. So just like my parents did, it's kind of what do you do for your different oral health care, your vision, your just general medical health care. So that's where more and more people are starting to ask and find out about these, meaning the patient side, right? And it's also something that, going back to the economy, really since COVID, inflation's through the roof. And I mean, there's a lot of different ways to finagle numbers, but as a country, our consumer spending has been pretty kind of haphazard and kind of erratic over the past 4 years because of different subsidies or grants, and that's starting to pull back. It's starting to pull back in a major way because credit cards are maxed out, and now consumers are saying, well, CPI is at 22%, I believe, right now, and they're kind of saying, well, do we take that summer trip, or I really need that crown? Oh, it doesn't hurt that much. I think a big part of where dental practices are going to, not to be doom and gloom, but see a little bit of a drawback on case acceptance, is just their general patient base. It's going to be one of those things where practices are going to have to focus on how they're presenting treatment and what is absolutely necessary to prevent further distress or harm to their patient's mouth and discomfort. One of the things that you can absolutely do is get a more loyal patient that doesn't bounce around from new patient special to new patient special, or doesn't go get second opinions on treatment or suggested treatment. Membership plans absolutely help with that. The patients joining, can't say it enough, great patients, of roughly 2.5x case acceptance on additional procedures. So, you combine economic factors with a growing aging population, and then how do you really keep them as part of your practice and drive additional revenue through procedures? And membership plans are a great option. Doesn't mean it's the final solution, but it can absolutely be the start to brighter days for a practice.
It would definitely enhance loyalty, wouldn't it? The reason I don't go to Sam's Club is because I have a Costco card. I don't care if they're running a sale. Yep. I'm loyal to Costco, and I know what that means, and the numbers all play out. So, yeah, loyalty is critical in building a practice with patients that you need to be able to rely on. How do states differ in the administration of a membership plan? Are there restrictions, extra help available, or what do we need to know there?
Yeah, Joseph, great question. Most states don't really require anything extra for the practice. The majority of states don't. We have the patients that sign up for your membership plan pretty much complete a form, enroll. Terms and conditions, all the regulatory and compliance and guardrails are built into that. There are a few states where it's one extra step, and Washington State is actually one that our legal team just wrapped up with their state association and state insurance board. It's technically not a membership plan. It is a more of what's called a voucher program. And the short of it, though, is yes, you can provide a plan for patients in the state of Washington. The wording and structure of it is just a little bit different. And we have, like I said, insurance board's blessing and the state association's blessing on how we've set the templates up.
Eric, this has been a wealth of information. I know if I was listening and I was thinking about either changing up or adding a membership plan, I'd want to reach out for more information. And you certainly have a great website to accommodate that. For anyone listening to this podcast through WEO Media or otherwise, is there something that you would offer them together with all of the other associations that you have?
Yeah, absolutely. So we'd definitely welcome the conversation. We do take it kind of a one-on-one to understand pain points of the practice or what their main goals are, and sculpt plans based on what they're promoting in their practice, or again, just generally what they need or their patients need. But we would be happy to offer a 20% discount to anyone listening, or WEO customers. But welcome the conversation first, and it's not something that I'm not trying to be coy or vague about pricing. We've gone through a lot of different pricing models, and that full circle comes back to listening to our customers and listening to our state association partners. We've made it very simple. Turnaround time is anywhere from a day to a week, depending on their schedule, practice owner and the team's schedule. So it's a very quick turnaround time.
So listeners don't need to worry about any special promo code that they need to enter with WEO Media or any of that. They just need to reach out and give you a call.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something that we'll in the conversation, if you could mention WEO, that you listen to the podcast, something of that sort, we'll go ahead and tag the office. But It's a 30-minute conversation, bit of discovery. We do offer the 20% discount off of our licensing fee. And over the years, we've made it a very, very simple implementation and turnaround on getting your plans up and running. So we just charge a flat platform fee, very low. It would be at $79 a month. You could have 100 members. Some of our offices, our partner offices and customers have over 1,000 members. So one price keeps it consistent, very easy to manage.
I remember how favorable your pricing model was as well. Thank you for mentioning that, Eric. How should we reach out to you then? Website, email?
That's fine. Website's fine. My email is Eric, ERIC, at dentalhq.com. And again, welcome any conversation if it's just a question or if you'd like to set up some time. Eric, ERIC, at dentalhq.com.
Oh, thank you, Eric.